So you want your elbow slightly lower than your shoulder, your wrist slightly lower than your elbow, and your finger slightly lower than your wrist. You don't want this. Obviously, if a punch is coming in higher, you might go a little higher.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's any higher than that, you're probably going to use Bong Sau or something else. So it has a range where it works, and you want to learn where that is. Now, we do have a low, we call it Bong Sau. So it does go pretty low. It just, above horizontal, it doesn't go too much above your shoulder. And then you want this vertical. Because when you relax that, the elbow goes. When you set this vertical, it sets your elbow. Now here's an important thing about Bong Sau. It has a set endpoint, but it's a dynamic technique. You use it throughout its range of motion. Same with Tan Sau. It's a technique, the whole getting, from the start to getting there is the technique. It's not just this spot or just this spot. And make a fist. What you'll see some Wing Chun people do is push it. Well, if you pull down right then, you'll rip my rotator cuff muscle group. So you don't want to push with it. I mean, you'll catch something and then you'll go into another technique. You don't push with it. I see people sparring.
It's like exercising.
They're pushing with it.
I see. It's not meant for that. So it's meant as an intercepting.
Right. Well, it's a dynamic technique that comes from somewhere, ends up there. Now, somebody's really, Mike Tyson is throwing a punch at you. I might not get to this spot, but I have to try to get to that spot.
As much as you
Or
can.
I won't get to, if I'm used to doing it sloppy, he'll collapse me. But if I'm projecting and trying to get to this spot, my outgoing energy will neutralize a lot of his incoming energy. Will achieve, there'll be some equilibrium there, and I'll be able to borrow that energy.
Basically, the more you can, the power comes from the motion, and if you execute it and you can get it all the way and the timing is right, you have the most resistance.
There is power with the technique, but it's about structure.
It's more structured. Don't think about power.
And timing.
Timing, obviously, yeah.
See, reach out a little more there. So you gotta go out to that spot.
So
That's better. Yeah. Good.
And I want to lock it, like you said, lock it.
Hmm?
Like make sure I lock it right. Like
It's a set position.
so you will lock it.
You set it.